Welcome to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Namofsky. There's been a lot of conversation about women's leadership, but before we can truly lead, we must first ask ourselves some important questions. The first two are, how can we reconnect with our authentic selves, and how can we integrate that authenticity into our work? Today, we'll explore the power of finding our voice and redefining that success means for us as women leaders. I'm joined by Beth Dewitt. She's an executive coach, and she's also a coach with Impact Coaches. So, Beth, let's begin. What drives your philosophy for leadership, and how has it evolved through your career?
Thanks for the question, Elizabeth, and I'm really happy to be here. Yeah, leadership for me has definitely evolved over my own career. And where it is right now, and I think it always has been, is that it's really focused on people and relationships and understanding that when you're a leader, it's about seeing the humanness of the people who are across the table for you. We actually all have a shared humanity, and sometimes that can get lost when you're looking at P&L statements or looking around the corner to see what comes next or being really focused on long-term strategy. We can forget the fact that at the end of the day, leadership is actually about how it is we connect with one another. And I think for me, the leadership journey has really evolved in that I've learned that it's okay to trust myself, trust my instincts, and that to show up and put people and their humanness at the center of how I'm going to interact, how I'm going to make decisions, and what's going to be core to my relationships is really important. And that's kind of how my leadership journey has evolved.
So, Beth, what inspired you to transition from business consulting into coaching? And how does that experience shape your approach as a coach today?
Yeah. I loved being a consultant. It was a lot of fun, and there's still times I do it today. And I had a great career with a lot of amazing mentors and a lot of incredible opportunities. I got access to leadership tables. I got to travel and see how people worked in other geographies. I got to work with a lot of different clients doing a lot of different types of things. But at the end of the day, what I realized was that I really wanted to work with people, and in particular with women. In my last organization, I had the opportunity to launch an initiative, global initiative specifically for women. And part of the impetus around that was really to say, there's something special in our unique experiences, and we need more of that at the table. And as I dug into that and delved into that, I also realized that my voice wasn't always being considered as a woman in a leadership role. And so I took an opportunity, I took a risk, and I decided to transition into a different career, and that is now working with women, amongst others, in their own leadership journeys and finding their voice.
And you talk about authenticity in leadership. How do you help leaders reconnect with their authentic selves and then integrate that into their work?
Authenticity for me is really about understanding who you are and what matters most to you. Answering questions like, what can't I stand to be with? And what must I be with? It's really about knowing what matters most in those contexts. And once you actually understand that, you can start to show up in a way that's very much aligned to those things. It's getting connected with the truth of who you are and being able to bring that to the table. And I honestly believe that with authenticity, when people do show up and are connected to the things that matter most, to their values, to experiences that really excite them, to working with people that they're really connected with, that they actually end up leading in a very authentic way. And people know that too. People know when you're being authentic. So for me, discovering my own authenticity came from a number of different experiences and told me that what really mattered most was about how it was I wanted to show up and make sure I wasn't ever being not me. And that's the way that I could be most authentic. And so I encourage other women when I work with them to do the same thing.
So we have less than 30 seconds to go to commercial break, but how do you tap into your authenticity?
Great question. For me, it's just making sure that I always speak what I believe is the right thing to say in the moment. I really make sure that I ground myself in what my values are and making sure that when I'm working with people, I'm feeling very much connected to those values.
Okay, so please don't go away. We'll be right back with more tapping into our authenticity.